Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to have Abby. So, Abby, welcome.
Hi, Kendrick. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Abby. Can you please let everyone know what your full type is?
Yes, so I am an INTP, but I am a double feminine uh TINE consume play blast sleep glass lizard type. No social number two.
Gotcha. And when you got your typing results back, what did you think and how did you feel?
I was kind of shocked. I wasn't considering TINE at all.
What were
I
you thinking?
I thought I was SETE. And I have some TI reasons behind that, but I get it now.
Okay, well, the funny thing is a lot of the people that get ESFP as their type, they are not happy about it because it's weird with the personality space. They think like the intuitive types are more cool, so they want to be that type.
Mm.
So but I think
They
because
want
also
to be the
sorry.
INTJs and the INFJs.
Yeah, especially INFJ. What did Dave and Shan say? Like they all want to be like FM, play last, like
Yeah,
jumper. So
the popular type.
yeah, the popular type, exactly. But if someone were to get INTP, that's still cool because it's still like N. So um
Yes, I still have like super brain.
yeah, exactly. So there's like a still like cool factor in it. But I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous. But most people these days they're more aware that you're probably gonna be an ESFP. You're gonna get like long time ago, the biggest doom for people is like the green bubble, like the SE green bubble at the end.
That was the doom button.
Yeah, like when you see your type and it's like, oh my god, SE, big green SE, like the
Oh,
bubble.
I
So
I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I really confused it with I think just with the any. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do mix those up. Like the people with SE think they have NE. Some people with NE think they have SE, but yeah, but hey, David Chan said those ESFPs are the coolest type. So, you know, like
They're really cool. I made a super good new friend in the OPS community named Lily, who's an ESFP. So hi Lily, you're awesome, lead SE girl.
there you go. Well, they are the coolest. Like if you watch any Hollywood movie, they're all ESFPs and stuff, right? And all like the big YouTubers. So,
You
anyways,
guys are gorgeous.
yeah, they're good looking. Let's start with your type then. Let's talk about your first animal, which is your double masculine
Yeah.
NT consume.
Ooh.
How do you personally experience that animal?
Huh. There's another animal in the background. It's my cat. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. um, I thought I had like unusually high consume when I had the idea that I had like consume third, but no, it's first. And I was like, why is it feels like the port for consume is so big. It just feels like a vacuum going right into my brain. How do I actually experience it? I'm on my phone a lot and I'm watching a lot of videos. And as soon as I got into OPS, I watched like all of the videos. And I didn't know that wasn't like a normal thing.
I think it could also be an info dominant thing because like
True.
I've interviewed some double activated consumes
Mm-hmm.
who are energy dom, and a lot of them haven't watched the videos in the classes. They'll just like pick and choose the one they want to watch. But the info dom seems to be more aggressive at like making sure that no stones are left untouched.
Yeah. Let me like absorb it all. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very TI thing to say that I'm catching myself say all the time now. That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Jesus.
So with your NT consume, because it's double masculine, and it's because it's NT, do you find yourself when you need to solve a problem, because NT is problem solving essentially, right? Do you aggressively go to reference sources to go find the solution? Because it's in a consume state, right?
Yeah. I feel like I try not to look everything up constantly, but I will have already consumed something on it, probably. And I do try to solve problems right then when I shouldn't a lot of the time. Like, we need to leave. I don't need to sit down here and try to like figure out this whole thing for us right now. We needed to go to bed 3 hours ago, or like we need to get out of the house. Yeah, I'll sit down and try to puzzle something out and then lose track of time. But in a consumed state, I think it's just like always running in the background, trying to like work on things and figure them out in the background. But there's a bunch of different stuff that I'm trying to figure out, I guess. So I don't notice it so much. It like all blurs.
With anti-consume, do you also find yourself projecting a self-image of being smart because of that anti?
Yeah, I think so.
Because consume is external self-awareness, right? So you're able to see yourself from a third person perspective, but being aware
Yeah,
of that also, it's kind of like I'm gonna project that to the tribe as well. Like that's how I
yeah.
want to be seen.
I think it has kind of like a blend thing going on with like having double activated like play with the FE in it after that. So it's like I know that people think I'm smart and I know that people think that I'm funny sometimes and nice and stuff like that. But like maybe the smart is like underneath it all, like just kind of a given. Yeah, it maybe feels more solid. Like I know I'm at least certain level of smart, like decent IQ and I can figure stuff out and maybe I'll come off a little nerdy or a lot of nerdy in the
Yeah,
conversation. So yeah, it feels like if you were to ask me what people thought about me, I'd be like, they probably think I'm smart, funny, nice, friendly, stuff like that.
right. Okay.
Project it? Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe you're doing like a hybrid thing with the play, the NF play. So it's like a mix of nerd and hippie kind of energy.
Hippie nerd. I called
Yeah.
myself that in high school.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So it's a hybrid. You're doing like a mixture kind of deal.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought I would be totally off and typing myself like upside down as ST or something, but I guess that rings true. Hippie nerd.
yeah, hippie nerd. There you go.
Sweet.
Um,
I guess.
if something else pops up with, well, yeah, if something else pops up with anti-consumer, we can loop back to it. But since you already brought it up, let's talk about your play. So you have
Ooh,
NF play, right?
yeah.
Before I ask you some more detailed questions about it, how do you personally experience it?
I started noticing it this week. Like, it's weird. So I'll be in the kitchen and I'll be talking to my husband and I'll like be prepping breakfast or something and we'll be talking and something I know it's like an audio version of play. I'm really starting to pick up on that is like I store sound bites to then use in conversation. So this happened when we were in the last live show at Dave and Shan and I was trying to explain to them that I was looking for a way to like control my life and that like connects to like a Borat soundbite in my head that goes my wife. So my head like does like this NE thing that might be FE funny and creates a new soundbite that goes I'm trying to control my life and I'm doing that all day long. And that's what I'm saying in conversation to people.
You know that NF play, it's has a lot of similarities to the NT play. It's
Yeah.
like the way I see it is NT play is very offensive, while NF play is like a more PG version of it. Uh,
Silly.
yeah, it's because like if you watch anyone who is making NT jokes, they're extremely offensive. Like they really try to like push the boundaries. Like like Borat, for example, right? With
Oh,
uh
is he a key play? Okay.
he's an ENFP, right? So a lot of ENFPs have offensive humor. Uh,
Okay.
they get away with it because they do it all the time. So it's just like a thing. Like
Oh
I
yeah, because it's funny, FI funny to them.
yeah, it's FI funny, which then becomes funny because you see this person laughing at something like really offensive, and then deep down inside, a lot of people do think those things are funny because
Yeah.
they just can't say it, especially of FE because it's offensive, right? But then it is funny.
Like
Uh,
someone's the butt of the joke in that joke though. Like Borat's got his ass in your face. It's like, sorry, dude. Yep.
yeah, no, but I mean, he has like a lot of like funny jokes in the sense that it's not like ass in the face kind of joke. He'll also do stuff like, you know, um, like for example, like he went up to this house full of like retired people, and then
Yeah.
and then he said, "Oh, you have." And he calls he mispronounced retired to something else,
Yeah.
and,
Okay.
and then like it's like funny, right? And it's also offensive, right? Like for example, like his trademark joke is like when he went up to like some woman, and he's like, very nice how much, it's like very offensive, right?
Not right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like, so it's like that kind of humor with NT, but it's not just him. Like, if you look at Family Guy, INFP,
Yeah.
Family Guy has a lot of offensive humor too, right? So,
Yeah, I watched a lot of Family Guy back in college.
right. So, it's created by an INFP guy with NT play, and people like this offensive humor. People have compilations of
Yeah.
it. So clearly people like those offensive humor. So, but yours is NF, so it's gonna be closer to what's her name? Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, her funny humor, her NF play though, it kind of revolves around making fun of like what someone likes, and usually it's in a
Oh.
relationship context. Like for example, like Ellen will bring people like female guests and stuff, and they'll like make fun of them, see who they have a crush on and stuff.
Oh, you're in love. Poke, poke, poke. Yeah, like
Yeah,
chill.
yeah, something like that, right? So it's like a little bit of that, and the FIs hate it, right? Because it's like embarrassing, but
Yeah.
the FEs kind of get the game. So, but
Yeah. Like, I
you're
get it in theory, but I think Ellen's double masculine and I hate pranks. Like it makes me feel so cringe. I'm like, leave them alone.
yeah, and you're also a decider, so it's like a double whammy for you. Double
Yeah.
feminine play plus decider. So I'm trying to think of an NF play from a double feminine, but I don't have an example off the top of my head. So I'm just wondering, how do you personally have your humor when you have banters with a tribe and it's like back and forth? But yours is double feminine, so it's gonna be extra friendly, right?
With bantering with the tribe, I don't know, just trying to make each other laugh. And if it goes back and forth like you're playing volleyball is fun. Um, I think we probably will use a lot of I'll probably use a lot of references like movie quotes and stuff and throw them in there to make like a funny spin on it.
NF play is the hardest play to see, like out of all the
Yeah.
plays. Yeah, because like I really can see the other plays really easily. Like NT plays easy to see, SF plays easy to see, and ST plays easy to see. But NF play, it's like, what the hell is
What
this
are
thing?
you?
Like it's because like when I talk to ENTPs or other people with NEFE, we kind of can joke to each other because we share the NE, but because there's the difference of the FE and TE, it like has like a different flavor to it. Um,
Like you don't quite get it.
no, they do. We get each other, but it's different. Like the delivery is different, the punchline is different. You know,
Okay.
because usually there's a
Oh, I don't
punchline.
know.
The
It's so
punchline for
fresh.
NT play, sorry.
It's like so fresh. I might need like a little while longer to see it. Like I'll have to ponder over this and like look for examples and stuff.
Sure, yeah. Well, we can loop back to it later. Why don't we talk about your well, before we loop out, actually, I want to ask you one
Oh,
last thing about NF play. You're an IP, but you have double activated NF play. So
yeah.
you're gonna be super friendly to the tribe as a result. And
Hi guys. Yeah.
the fear of the INTP or IPs is tribe hate, right? So you're not
Yeah.
likely to get tribe hate because you are doing so much play. Can you share a little bit about that fear of tribe hate still being there, despite
Yeah.
the fact that it's probably not happening as much because of the high
It's
play?
not a lot. It just feels like that's my trigger though. So that, that's the math in the end is like there's the trigger function for me, right? The FE. So like I was walking on the sidewalk to my art studio the other day, which is a couple blocks away from my house, and a person's coming towards you like on a small sidewalk, and then you have like social fear suddenly, like I'm gonna have to look them in the face and smile at them, or I'm gonna have to ignore them, and that might be weird. And it's just like that's not really people probably don't think about that if they're not deciders. So I'm like, oh, huh, interesting. And then the FE like immediately comes in like and will balance it out in that savior play function and be like, well, what if, like from his perspective, what if he gets this all the time because he's a dude, he acts like or girls act like they're scared of him all the time and avoid him on the sidewalk. And I'm like, oh, I can't be like that. Like I have to be like, hello, and then keep going. So like it'll balance it, but I'm still like flustered. It's
Right.
just like chemically triggered. And it's fine. Like it doesn't really what do I say? It's not like a problem for me, but it like physically bothers me and it's funny.
Yeah, I can see why that would be something that you would be weird about, especially when
Right?
because
Weird.
yeah. I think most designers are weird about this though, like about like kind of like how you were thinking how you should approach this person approaching you also.
Yeah.
should you smile, should you not, like those kind of stuff in your head. For
Yeah.
me, being a double decider, like one of my workplace, there's a guy who works there. He's an ESFJ, and he what I noticed because I was observing him is when people don't greet him, he gets really grumpy and then like he
Oh,
like, really doesn't like it because he works there.
yeah.
He cleans the building and stuff. So I'll play a game where one day I'm like really nice to him, and one day I completely ignore him. I just want to see what's gonna happen because like
Sure.
I have NT play, so I'm always experimenting with the tribe because
Yeah,
NT
yeah.
experimental. So I'm
I
like,
kind of envy that. I think that's pretty cool. Like I want to have the like a little bit more numbness in myself to try stuff like that. I think that's fun.
yeah, it's super fun. Yeah. So like for example, like one time he'll look at me, but then I'll just like pretend I'm not looking at him, or I'll look at him but I won't say anything just to see if he'll get triggered, you know.
Yeah,
And if he gets triggered, I'm like, heh, heh,
I
no,
did it.
no FE candy for you today. You know what I'm saying? You know, like
No candy for you.
no
Nice.
FE. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know it's terrible, but like I'm an ENFP, right? So
Fine.
everything is a social experiment, right? You know?
Right, and it's small. Like it's okay, and you not like they're not entitled to your FE candy. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. You don't get like the tribe validation today. I just
I don't feel like it. Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'm just yeah, but I just think it's funny. Just for me, it's hilarious. So, but it's interesting for like deciders for sure. There's like a thought process like, oh, there's like a human here. This must be addressed correctly. You know.
Right?
Well,
Suddenly, people.
yeah, but for double deciders, they're like, oh, there's a human there, whatever. It's like,
Yeah. I
um,
guess for me, it would be like, oh, there's a coffee mug there or something like, oh, boring. I don't know. I love coffee mugs. Never mind. Okay.
um, let's talk about your SF blast. It's a little bit different because I've interviewed like INTPs about it versus like let's say an ESFJ or something or an
Yeah.
ISFJ. So the way you guys approach the SF blast is not exactly the same. So I want to hear it from your perspective first, and then I'll kind of like bring some examples just to see where you are on that.
Okay. I see it kind of like as like a church lady who's trying to like smooth your hair into place or something like that. You know, the person I've heard you talk about it like being really anal about where the cutlery goes on the table and stuff like that. It does feel like that. It's like the SF blast is both of my demons in one animal, and they're both feminine. And I just see it as like I guess the double masculine version of SI and FE together is like the scariest thing. Like maybe because mine's double feminine, but I when I look at that type, the double masculine, like SI, FE, or FE, SI, like coming at you to come like fix your hair so that it doesn't make someone uncomfortable. I'm like, leave them alone, like quit that. So I don't want to do that to people. But I still do gently to my husband. I'll just be like, hey baby, fix his bangs, you know?
That's
That's
funny.
what it's like. It's like
Okay.
I know that that's a thing, but I don't want to shove that on anybody. And I get like why it's valuable and stuff, but I don't want to control people like that. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I don't want to be like that. So the blasts, like I try to do it really gently. Like you don't have to do this thing that I'm suggesting. You don't have to. It's okay. But this might grease the wheels or something, you know?
Right. Okay. It
Yeah.
sounds like you are definitely using that SF blast, fixing
Yeah.
people's appearances and stuff.
Hey, sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that lady's name again in the class? The ESFJ jumper that David Chan always says is like the super growth mindset. Like the
Katie.
Katie Byron.
Byron Katie. It's
Yeah.
Byron Katie.
Byron Katie. Yeah. She has like two first names, something like
Yeah.
that.
SF blast. Get her name right, Kendrick, or you'll hurt her feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example. I like that actually.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun catching yourself. It's cool.
That's really good. I didn't even think about like, if you say that to someone, that would be SF plus, but it is.
Yeah, it's like they said, it's coming out every second out of your mouth. Like, which one is it? Which animal is it? Yeah.
I just remember I had a manager in my one of my earlier fitness jobs because I work in the fitness industry, and she looks
Yeah.
exactly like Byron Katie. Like they look exactly the same. So
So
and
she's like a little cutie.
yeah, yeah, she's like she was like 65 years old or something, and she still looks good, and she's like she was still like, I was really impressed. She was still like doing deadlifts and stuff, like actual like crazy gym workouts. You
I
know,
want to be like that.
yeah, she was like extremely fit, like doing squats, deadlifts, like all the powerlifting stuff as like a
Oh my
65
God,
year old woman.
squats
And
scare me.
she looks athletic at 65. She's not like decrepit. Like she's absolutely like athletic
That's
looking.
impressive.
Yeah, and she competes in like curling, which is like a
She
Canadian.
competes.
Yeah, like in like local thing. I think she's a number one because like when I look
Oh,
at her, like everything she does is like pristine. Like everything's like her appearance is absolutely like very professional looking, and like
yeah.
I think she was also play last. My boss, she was like blast, sleep, consume, play. Um, because like she would have like a board in her office that says learn to relax more, be more easygoing, you know. And it's like she has like all this
Oh,
stuff, and she's aware because the double activated sleep, right? She's aware that she's like kind of like stiff and kind of like too
needs to chill.
too controlled. Yeah, she needs to chill out. She's
Yeah.
aware, right? So she'll try to throw in some like play jokes sometimes. Um,
Awkwardly.
yeah, sometimes like once in a while, like she'll say things like, "Oh, if I'm doing yoga, and like I'm doing downward dog, I hope someone's looking, something like that.
Oh,
You know, yeah, just like the spice thing. Yeah, something like that, right? She'll say stuff like that.
get
So
it,
like once
lady.
in a while.
Yeah,
Which she can pull off for sure because she's like super like fit for her age and like still like definitely like taking care of her appearance.
that's
Uh,
great.
but I remember one time she SF blasted me in the office. I think she was a visual.
Mhm.
She was definitely big into visuals. Because like one time,
Oh, that probably triggered you like crazy, huh?
yeah, because I have SF sleep, right? So
Yeah,
when someone blasts your sleep, it would be triggering, right?
yeah.
Um, so she went, but I also appreciate her honesty. So like she went up to me once. She's like, Kendrick, I noticed you're very argumentative, which I am because I'm NT. Um, NTs always argue and stuff,
I get that. Yep.
or debating.
Mhm.
She's like, so Kendrick, when we talk, even if I'm wrong, just nod your head. So she's controlling my behavior, right? With her SF last.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like,
I don't like that.
what's
I don't
that?
like that at all. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like even if I'm wrong, just nod your head. That's what she said to me, right?
Oh my God.
Because she's like,
No.
it's like masculine FE, right? So
Mhm.
trying to
I
control my
think
behavior.
that scares me. I think I'm offended by masculine FE a little bit. I need to probably learn to chill on that too.
Yeah, we used to fight all the time because she's trying to correct my behavior, and then for me, it's like it
Control.
doesn't
Don't
make
control
any.
me, bro, right?
Well, that and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, my NT radar is like going crazy. Like you're also lead NT, so when something's off, like logically, you kind of like short circuit.
Yeah, hang
Um,
on. This doesn't make sense.
yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? So
Mhm.
so that's kind of that, and then she would like get upset. So but eventually the solution was we just don't work the same shift. So I work like completely different shifts than her. So I don't see my boss, right? And
Sometimes it's for the best. Yeah.
no, like don't get me wrong, I really respected her, and she
Yeah.
really liked and respected me too, because like she only had good things to say about me, but we definitely had a personality clash. So
Yeah.
so that SF blast can be quite like really off-putting sometimes. Especially when it's not really necessary, you know. Like there's times when you have to use it. Like let's say someone that's really um not don't have any social skills, then
Mhm.
yes, you do need to use the SF blast to correct
Yeah.
the behavior. But if the person has social skills, then they're just doing
You
it. They're just doing it in a way that you're not accustomed to. But
right.
the tribe is still used to it, and clearly the tribe has no problem with it.
I
Um,
think like they would make really good tour guides in places that need a lot of like custom awareness where it's like, hey, okay, yeah, don't drink the water out of the finger cleaning bowl here or whatever. And then they'd like boss all the tourists around and be like, don't do that. And also like always never blow your nose in front of 80-year-old women or something.
I think there is a lot of ESFJ tour guides. I've had a lot of them, so I think that is like a job they do gravitate towards, and I think they're good at it too because of the double observing. So definitely I can
Cool.
see that. I think Muslim countries, especially like where you have to follow more social etiquettes. You know,
Yeah.
like if you're a woman, you have to wear a hijab, and if you're a guy, you can't wear shorts, you have to wear pants, so like stuff like that.
And they'd be good at like explaining that and being like, listen, no, you really need to do this or something.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know. I'm double feminine on it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I find that really, really triggering. So I think when I first was looking through all of the like celebrity docs of people who were typed, I was like, I'm afraid of masculine FE and masculine SI.
Which double masculine SF blasts were you scared of when you were looking at the docs?
Kathy Bates, Tom Cruise, those kind of people like
Tom Cruise?
yeah, I find them kind of scary.
Well, Tom Cruise is FM, right? So he has double
Yeah.
masculine play. So it's a little bit different. Did you see that video of them showing his
Yeah.
double masculine play?
Yeah, he's
I'm
all
like, oh my
crazy.
God, this guy's extreme. He's really intense.
Yeah. He scares me. I think it's probably just the masculine FE in him. But when you've got both, then you've got like super scary church lady effect, which is very scary for me. In Kathy Bates, especially.
You know what's dangerous about Tom Cruise? Is like,
What? I'm scared of him.
besides the fact that he's weird, but like I really like his movies. Like he doesn't make bad movies, right?
Yeah,
Um,
he's a really good actor.
and that's exactly why you cannot touch Tom Cruise because he has double activated ST. So he's extremely competent. There just no one can argue how competent he is. So if you try to, because people get hurt from their sleep animal, right? So usually people get hurt either by sleep animal or the fourth function. It's either one or those. It's one or the other, right?
Okay.
That's where people would get hurt. Like if you were to attack them, that's where it would be like a personal attack.
That's where
So
they would get hurt. Oh, because their identity is their sleep animal.
sleep
Okay.
animal is your identity, but the fourth animal is your most insecure and triggering one.
Okay.
Fourth function, sorry.
Mine's both, so that's exciting. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yours worse. Yeah. Uh, so Tom Cruise, for example, if you try to attack his competency, you cannot because he is so competent and he has the
Yeah.
SI track record to back it up. He'll just say, "What are you talking about? Are you sure?"
You're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. Exactly. Because and you can't say anything because you are wrong. Because like you cannot attack his competency. He is so
Yeah.
competent.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about his like scary at home FE, like, let me pull you into
right.
Scientology and then yell at you kind of stuff.
And then after you attack him, he'll attack you back. And then you're helpless because it's a masculine FE, right? So
Right? I'll
that's why
just avoid him.
and
He's
he's double.
beautiful. And then
He's
I'll
also
run
a double
away.
decider. He's a double decider. You can't hurt him.
Oh my God. Like if we were playing a video game, he'd be like a final boss for me.
Yeah, you can't hurt Tom Cruise. He's like, he's invincible. Like even when Hollywood tried to like ban him because of the whole Scientology stuff, he came back so fast because he just can't not make good movies. You know,
Yeah. Also, he is very charismatic.
he is, yeah, very charismatic, 100%. Yeah, and he's generally caring to people too. Like it's
He seems really nice, but he also seems equally scary.
yeah, maybe for the masculine
Maybe
epi.
it's just for me, but yeah, it's just like the scary, like, I don't know, those hard, like, FE eyes, like behind the smile, where he's just like that, but then his eyes are like, I don't know, they look like they're gonna hurt you. I don't know. I think Christian Bale actually based his American Psycho character off of Tom Cruise is like dead, like very charismatic FE smile with the dead eyes behind it. I thought that was really neat.
That's so good. That's
Right?
perfect. That's a perfect modeling, actually.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. Christian Bale nailed that role. He did so good at it. I don't know who else
Let's
could have.
talk about movies. Let's talk about movies for hours.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, we're both like, you know, OE, so we're gonna get distracted.
Yes.
Well, since we're in the topic of insecure animals, or which is
Mm.
the sleep one, not insecure, but like the one that you would take more personally. You have ST sleep, so
Yeah.
your identity is tied to competence. Then,
Mhm.
can you share a little bit about like competence being the most important thing in terms of your identity being that your sleep animal?
It really is. I hadn't thought about it that way. Competence is like my identity. I can do the things. It's very TI. I thought it was just the TI on its own, being like, I work, I do the things, and I want to learn new skills so that then I can do more things. And I thought it was also being a social number two. Like, I want to learn and do more things so that I can be able to do more things because my identity is I do the things. So funny.
It's also because of ST. That's why it's competence. Because like if you had NT sleep, it would be intelligence, right? So
Mhm.
um
So it's like I know how to do the things, but do I do the things? Like I've heard you say, like, where are your prototypes to people who are my type? Yeah, it's like how many prototypes do I have, and did I finish them to completion?
oh right,
Like,
right. Yeah, I said that a long time
yeah,
ago. Yeah, I stopped saying that.
yeah.
I forgot I stopped saying that. But
I've watched a bunch of your interviews on people who are my type recently. So because I got typed like a few weeks ago. So
oh, I see, gotcha. Um your exact type twins, you
um
mean? Or like
huh?
your exact you watch the videos on like your exact type twins or like just in the ballpark?
Yeah, I watched the exact ones. And I think there was a recent girl too, Theodora. It's like the
Yeah.
exact same
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
she's got twin, yeah. Yeah, we're both number twos also. You're like identical,
Yeah.
like exact, you know.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
she was much more calm than me. I feel a little more spastic, but maybe I'm just like nature versus nurture sort of thing still in my like spastic era. I don't know.
Well, I think because you're American and she's like Serbian. So
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That makes sense too.
yeah, uh different values based on where you're from, right? So uh
Yeah.
yeah.
The eager American. Yeah, the bouncy American. Um, I do feel like ever since I was younger, I even have this one core memory of like I can be a competent person when I was babysitting these kids. Like they didn't pick out a dinner for me to cook for the kids, and I like went through the fridge and made this whole dinner for like four children, and then I was like, I'm resourceful. I have that as like a core memory. So yeah,
Your wouldn't resourcefulness be from your consume or gathering?
probably yeah.
Because that's what
Like
you
it
gather.
leads the NT leads into the ST. Just do I actually do it?
Right, right. Well, I think ST sleep is the most powerful sleep animal.
I have a ton of issues with my sleep.
Can you
Like I
share?
would love to be able, yeah, I would love to be able to get a handle on it. Um, like I was up until like 4:30 in the morning just last night because I can't sleep. Like I can't sleep. And I'm still theorizing about it constantly. Like maybe I need to wear myself out physically because when I get good sleep, it's usually because I'm dead tired. So maybe exercise, like you always say, is like the way to go. But like if I get a walk in a day and I get the sunshine, I'm usually a little more tired, but I didn't do that for the past few days. And then I just will stay up and keep consuming until like my body like physically gives out. I need like to hit like that SI limit. And I usually don't instill that SI limit in to my life. It like it'll naturally come and hit me. Like I'll only leave work and come home when I'm hungry, like that natural hunger limit from my body will come in, and then I can like stop and do the sleep stop. And then like I will only fall asleep at night when my body is like physically can't stay awake anymore, and then I'll stop. Like I can't stop on my own. That's what it's like.
Well, I have sleep loss like you, so I can relate to what you're
It's hard.
saying. Yeah, it's hard for sure. You have to do everything almost perfectly, and if you mess up a little bit, sleep is like kind of hard.
Yeah.
Um,
It's what I'm working on right now. Like I have an art business coach and we're working on energy balancing right now because I keep burning out.
there was a guy that I interviewed a long time ago, Dion Dixie. He's like an ENTP, and he gave me like the best blueprint ever for ST sleep. And the way he described it was having a body that works. Because
Right. I've heard you say that.
yeah, so and I was watching like Brian Johnson videos because he's like an INTP with like double activated sleep, and he's like measuring everything to make sure everything's perfect in terms
Yeah,
of
I started a habit tracker a week ago because of this nonsense. Yes.
yeah. I know David Shan said that a lot of stuff that Brian Johnson does is not relatable, but I think what he does is very relatable to the INTPs or anyone with that stack. So if you were like an
Yeah,
ISFJ,
they told me to
ENFJ,
study him.
or ENTP, yeah, Brian Johnson is
Yeah.
I think, and even for me, I follow him even though I don't have his stack, but like I have SI, so I can relate to the SI aspect of it. So I'm like kind of looking at the stuff that he's doing. But like for me personally, for sleep, I have to use a CPAP machine now. So like I
Mhm.
had to go to like a clinic for a sleep test, a sleep study. I don't know if you've ever done that. You probably should because you sleep last. Uh
I probably should, but I haven't done it.
yeah. And then like now I sleep with this machine, which actually makes my sleep so much better because I feel more refreshed throughout the day. It actually works.
Right.
It's like magic. And then
You know how David Shan used to say, like, take a breath, sleep less? It's
yeah.
because we're not breathing right, probably most of the time.
Well, when you're sleeping, your brain doesn't tell you to breathe. That's what sleep apnea is, right? So um,
When we're awake, is our brain telling us to breathe? You know, it's probably our programming like 24/7.
it's a little bit better when you're awake because like especially if you so I notice when I exercise, I'm actually more sharp. So that's why I do a lot of cardio stuff because you have to breathe, you know. So
Right. Okay. I like cardio. Have you ever played Beat Saber on Oculus Quest?
I don't have Oculus Quest. I don't have those VR. I don't have any VR stuff. I have a PlayStation 5, but like I want to get the PSVR 2, but for me, I was like, they don't have enough good games for me to warrant paying for it. But like
Yeah.
I really want to
If
get to it, but I'm like, there's no good games for the freaking VR stuff. But anyway,
if
sorry.
you ever try Oculus Quest, if you have a friend who has one or something, I would try Beat Saber. It is the most fun cardio game out there. Like, I will play until I'm exhausted and then I'll have to go shower. And then I'm like, well, there's my evening. But you know, it was so fun. It's so fun. I bet you would love it.
I think
And they have some games on there,
sorry.
like Robo Recall and stuff like that.
So it's like a workout game.
Yeah, it's more like a rhythm game, and you've got like two lightsabers and you're like hitting boxes. It's like DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, if you remember that,
Yeah.
but with the two sabers and you're like hitting them super super fast. It's really really fun.
Yeah, it sounds like I would enjoy it based on your
I think you would love it.
do you need to connect to like computer to I don't know observer questions, but or is it like stand up you can like
So I got the first version of the Quest, and it's just like standalone, and you can like charge it with the cord if it's like doesn't have enough battery. And then when it does have enough battery, I usually just charge it overnight and then I take the cord off. So I've just got like the headset and then the two things, and then I've got my living room, and you can draw out the space, and it keeps you within like a space so you don't like hit anything. And then you go to town. It's fun. You don't have to connect it to the computer. It's awesome.
I've always thought it was funny when like back in the days before you can like draw the circle thing, people just like walk into all the stuff. Like
Right.
it was just hilarious. Um
Oh man, I have definitely hit myself in the head on accident too. Like, you could do that.
oh, okay. That's probably because
Maybe
you have feminine
feminine
sensory.
spacing.
That's because you
Yeah.
have feminine sensory. That's why.
I'm super klutzy. I hit myself like my knee on the table like 3 times a week. I need to get a different table.
I can relate. I also bump into shit all the time. So
Right? What does that mean? Is it just demon sensory, honestly? Like,
it's demon sensory, yeah, 100%. You're not you're not in the physical world, you're in the intuition world. So, you know, yeah, that's why you come across that's why we're not as cool as the lead sensory, you know.
bullshit. But okay.
Well, we're not as cool in the physical world, but in the intuition world, we cannot be touched.
There
You
you
know,
go.
there you go. Exactly. Did you get an ego attack there or something?
No, I was just playing. I was trying to boost yours.
Oh, okay. No, no. Okay. Hold on. We gotta talk about this. So
Hmm.
FE versus FI.
Yeah.
FI people, they don't want you to cheer them up.
Oh, well,
That
whoever
is the
listening
most
then.
that is the most sacrilege, or am I saying that correctly? It's like the most messed up thing possible. Like
You
you see
know,
an
they
FI
don't
person,
want to be cheered up.
you're seeing an FI
Okay.
person suffering. They don't want you to cheer them up. They want to go
Don't
through.
touch me.
No,
So
no.
so what do I do? Like, help them with their problems, like TE problems instead?
Yeah, problem solving is good. Or no, so there's a difference between empathy and sympathy, right? So they don't want sympathy, they want
Right.
empathy. They want empathy. So if you see an FI person suffering, you want to cheer them up, but that's not the right way to go about it. The workaround is you share a story of how you suffered the same way that they did.
Ah, it's
So for
cool, Kendrick. I'm also a nerd.
no, no, I
That.
mean, no, not like that. Like I'll give you an example. Like like for example, you had a breakup with someone, right? And then let's say your
Right.
FI
No, I was like tying it back to the one where you're just like, we're not cool. And so I should be like, yeah, you're right. I'm also not cool or something.
yeah, no, I mean the double sided thing to do is like, yeah, totally, we're like dweebs, like something like that.
Okay, cool.
But
Okay.
like, but anyway, so if it's like a FI person, let's say they have a breakup, then you would bring up your own breakup in the past, and you can share how painful it was, and you just be like, okay, and then at the end, I did recover, and it was okay,
Right.
but it wasn't pleasant when it was happening. And then
It
if you
feels like I'm being too DI if I do that stuff though. Like I already kind of do stuff like that, and it feels like I'm being like, let me talk all about myself when you're telling me about your
no no
problems.
no
So
no, but you're bringing it back to them. You're bringing it
you
back to
have
them.
to like tie it back to them in the end, like
Yes, yes. So you have to tie
conversationally.
in your story to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the end. So for example, if they said, "Oh yeah, I really suffered. I just stayed in my room all day, for like 3 weeks or a whole month or whatever because I was so depressed." So you can say something like that. It's like, "Oh yeah, I know. I just shut myself out. Also, I did that. I know what that feels like."
The
Um,
same feeling.
yeah. Obviously you're not feeling good right now, but and then the magic word to say for FI people. This is like the big magic word. If you do this, you get like so many points with an FI person. Um, you tell them take as much time as you need to let the emotion process and
Yeah.
just take your time. Don't rush it. Don't try to feel good right away. Just like really take your time.
Feel
Uh,
your feelings.
yeah, just like feel your feelings exactly,
Yeah.
and then when you're ready, I can tell you right now, it's better on the other side.
Okay.
So that's how you get like big points with the FI people.
It feels like the same thing, but it's not, huh? So it's like FE is over here, like we're the same, and then FI is like we're the same, but through the feeling, the specific feeling, and through this, it's like, oh, but we're already all the same. But with this one, you need like a specific, that exact thing. It's like getting somebody their favorite mug, the specific one out of the counter, like out of not out of the counter. Oh my god, feminine sensory moment out of wow, the kitchen cabinets. That's what it is, cabinets. Okay.
It's similarities. I think that's similar emotions. You have to match your your emotion that was similar to theirs, and you have to tell them that story of how you also experience it, and then
Okay.
add in the part where take your time to grieve or whatever. If it's a breakup or whatever. If it's not a
Mm.
breakup, something, then you would have to approach it a little bit differently, obviously. But there's like a, but then and then afterwards you tell them like how it's like, don't rush it, but there is like a light at the end of the tunnel, that kind of deal, right?
Like for me, there was. So I'm pretty sure for you, like at the end of this motion, there'll be you'll come out of it. Like I feel like I'm just gonna use my NE either way and be like, it's just like a wave, like it comes
No,
and
no,
then
no,
it
no, no,
goes.
no. The biggest thing that you can say to the worst thing you can say to someone with FI is be positive. Do not say that. That is taboo. Don't say like be positive. That is like you're a
No,
piece.
not like that.
The
Like
moment the
with
moment you
that,
say
it
be
will
positive,
come.
the moment you say be positive, you're now a piece of shit. You know.
Not like that. It's like
Yeah.
it will come, like for everybody. The good times will come after the bad times, always. And then more bad times will come, which is the
Don't
secret you
don't
don't know.
don't say everybody because it's like FI, so it's like personalized. So it's like it's just between you and that person you're talking to.
This
So
is so hard because like half people are FI and half people are TI. So it's like,
yeah, but it's good to know
well,
this. It's good to know this stuff because then you're gonna have
yeah,
half your friends are gonna be FI probably.
right. I think my
Yeah.
husband's FI.
Sure,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
but then you'll get like you'll get like so much try points if you did it correctly, like
Right. Okay. So feminine sensory, yet again, the whole point of it was to be like, you experience it your way, and I'm here. I'm here for after. You know, I felt it too. This is hard. Okay.
yeah, because like for example, like I had a boss who was FE, right, and I was telling my story of how I had a horrible experience getting stuck in an airport. I was flying out of Toronto Airport in the east coast of Canada, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's like the worst. It's like considered to be like the second worst airport in the world, right? And then
Why?
it's just like flights are always late, delayed, canceled. Uh,
Okay.
not enough staff working there, poor pay, so that no one wants to work there. Then no one, the people who goes there doesn't get service. Anyways, it's just like a nightmare.
Not managed well.
Like the joke for Canadians is if you want to get abused, then you go to the airport. Like that's
Nice.
like if you're like what is it masochist? If you're a masochist, you go to the airport,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
Um. So I was telling that story to my boss, who was like an ENFJ. She's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear suffering stories. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
you're fucked up. That's like, that's
I
like
also relate to that a little bit though. Like, I don't want to hear suffering stories. Like, I don't want to watch horror movies because it gets added to my nightmare bank.
Oh, I think I saw a video recently where like I think it was on TV actually. They said like watching horror movies strengthens your character or something. I don't know. Like you're like
Ooh,
your fear, your fear muscle gets stronger or something. Apparently, if you watch a lot of horror movies, like you build
it's
up.
like I don't want to expose myself to that at all, but I haven't really examined it. But she was doing this in like in regards to your personal suffering story. Like she's like, I don't want to hear it. It's kind of shit.
Yeah, but then because I had a meeting with two bosses. Like the other one was this was in my previous job. The other boss was also at FE, but he was a double decider, so he was an ESTP. So he was willing to hear my story because he's balanced with the FE and TI, right? So TI truth, right? So he was balanced. So he was cool with listening to it. Even though there's like negative aspect to it, I think it
Mhm.
also yeah. So I think with the double deciders, they're like okay to hear the suffering story. Well, like the
Mhm.
single deciders, it's like I cannot handle suffering stories, cannot handle, you know.
Is
Uh,
it just the demon feelers like me, where it's just like, ow, it's gonna hurt too bad?
I think deciders suffer with pain more than double deciders. Double deciders, David Shine said this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Deciders suffer with they like they suffer they have trouble with pain, while observers have problem with fear, right? Because the observer fear missing information, while decider is the pain from the tribe, either tribe hate or self hate, right? You know,
Right. And I thought I have like anxiety and stuff, and I was like, oh, I thought mine was the fear thing. But if you look into it, it's like fear of future pain.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for us, it's literally like missing information. Like I don't know
I'm
what's
just
gonna happen.
afraid.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, which is ridiculous because like when the stuff happens, it's never as bad as like what we think it is. So, anyways,
Mm.
so yeah, I think yeah, and the thing is like if you don't expose yourself to suffering, then you cannot empathize with another human being, and if you cannot empathize with a human being, then you get tribe hate. That's why a lot of IPs who kind of shelter themselves from the suffering becomes um they become kind of robotic with no empathy because you if you suffer um you obviously don't want anyone else to suffer, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you know how bad it feels, right? And that's what empathy is, because like now you can also see how suffering is bad. So for real, not
I already feel that way. It's just like I feel like I've had enough to get it that I'm like, I don't want too much more. Like
sure.
I want to make things better instead.
Yeah, yeah, I guess that's not that's also true. So it's not like you don't have to suffer forever. That's I guess that's the thing. Like
Like I feel like once you get it, like it's like I don't want to go watch another horror movie about like evisceration or something. It's like, yeah, I got that when I saw Braveheart. I got it. I got it. I will cry. Like I get it. Like I don't want to see it again.
I think the big difference between FE and FI is like with the FI, it's very specific emotions, you know. Well, for FE, it's just like happy or sad, and that's it, right? It's kind of like the TE version, TE and TI, right? Remember David Shan made a video recently where like
I
for the
remember
TE,
she
like
talking about it like the opposite way, where she was like, I've only got like certain emotions, but with FE, they've got like this rainbow of different emotions you could pick from, like disgruntled or frustrated or,
that's
you
FI.
know, that's FI. Okay, so
Just no for the FE.
oh,
No, the FE can see the spectrum of emotions for sure. But
okay.
when in terms of feeling it, it's just like it's kind of like TE where like a
Oh,
TI
and overall, good or
like
bad? Is it
the
over
TI
here or over here?
like the way Dave explained it is like, for example, the TI person has like a favorite tool that they use. And it has to be like this
Mm-hmm.
specific model of this specific tool that will solve this specific problem. But for the
Mm-hmm.
T, it's like, who gives a shit? Take whatever works.
Smart or dumb? Okay, it
If
works or
this
it
works,
doesn't.
it's good enough.
Yeah.
And then the TI person is like, no, that's not the optimal way and the most effective way to approach it. And T's like, who cares? This works. This is good. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
use it. For example, like you're trying to you have a screw and it's like that one line in the middle one. What do you call that? Like
One
this
line in the middle, just like a flathead. Yeah.
like a flathead, right? So a T might say, "Oh, I'm just gonna use a knife to turn this flathead
Yeah,
instead of."
sure. Why not? I feel like a very chill TI. I thought I was TE. I'm like, why not? It's fine. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, but apparently, like some TI people would like be really like anal about that. Like like it has to be this
Maybe if
specific
they were
tool.
like TISI, they'd be like this specific screwdriver.
Yeah, well, you have TISI, so
Yeah, but it's at the
but your sleep,
bottom.
but your sleep lasts. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, but the T is like, I'll just use this damn knife, and it's like, and then the T is like, that's what are you doing? Like, what is this? You know, um, so
But how does that relate to the FIFE? I just feel like I don't get that.
well,
Uh,
it's like the story I told you earlier. Like, okay, if
mhm.
someone is suffering and they want you to tell your own suffering story to them to kind of to make them feel heard and understood,
Uh-huh.
then your suffering story has to be that near that emotion, like kind of like the same
Okay.
emotion. So if it's envy, it has to be envy. If it's like you know, joyful, then it's joyful. Or if it's like,
Okay.
so it has to be like pleasant. Like it also depends on the intensity, right? So there's ecstatic that's like super happy, right? Versus like
Okay.
heartfelt. They're both happy, but one is more like,
Yeah, you have to hone into the right frequency. Okay, I get it.
exactly, yeah, the right frequency. There you go, like the right radio station. But it has to be like the like in the ballpark.
We are so any. This is too much any for people listening, probably.
Who cares? Who cares? We're having a good talk, any talk, so
We
that's
are. It's nice.
okay. Okay. Well, we'll jump into the last section of our chat then. Let's talk about the social type. So you're number two. Can you share a little bit about like the life of a number two, like being a generalist and
Yeah.
friends?
I've had a really hard time like trying to be an artist my whole life because I keep job hopping and getting bored and stuff. Like I've been trying, like I went to school for painting and then I was like, oh, I'll go and do some graphic design and now I'll go work in an art gallery. Now I'll go work as a store artist in a jewelry shop. Okay, now I'll stop and do reselling on eBay and Poshmark. Now, okay, I'll try to jump back into art like in between. I'll go work in a clothing shop for a little bit. It's just like I'll try this, I'll try that. Anywhere that I kind of like fall into an area where I see some work that I could do that I find kind of interesting. And I realized that I need to stop doing that and sit down and focus and try to make it work. It's just that after a while trying to make it work and then it not working, I get burnt out and I felt really sad. And then I need to try something else that feels like fun and exciting and new, and then I'll try that instead. But then I'm still balancing all these other things in my life as well. Like it's like in that book Refuse to Choose for people who like to do a lot of different things. I think it's by Barbara Sher.
Yeah, I read it.
Huh?
I read it.
Did you read it? Yeah. So I came out of that book with like, you're a plate spinner. You like to do a billion different things at the same time. And I was like, that sounds like being a number two. That sounds right. Like I just like to do a bunch of stuff. I've got a bunch of different like projects and hobbies and work and future ideas for all of those different things going at the same time, and like things I want to do in my relationships with like my dad and all these different friends and my husband, and it's just everything. It's like having a million plates spinning in the air and then being like, this is my life, this is how I do it, and I don't want less plates. Like if a plate comes down, I will put a different plate up there. That's what it feels like.
When I read that book, I was a hybrid of plate spinner, and double agent. That was me.
Yeah, double agent. Yes. Okay, I
Yeah,
can see you with that.
yeah, because I travel a lot, right? So I feel like
Right.
I feel like when I'm traveling, I'm like Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I don't
I like
travel
the
to.
advice for that one where they say like put your life in like one crate and then open it up when you get to the other place and then put the other one away. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, no, I'm totally like I'm doing it. Like I have like I have my normal life where I go to work and stuff, but then like or like run like trying to build a business, but then I have my other life where I'm like an adventure, like I'm an Indiana Jones adventure. I'm going to like all this far off destination in the middle of nowhere, and like
Yes.
yeah, so I
That's
love that.
totally you.
What's that?
That's totally you. I
Yeah,
like you're the definition of like the double agent.
yeah, 100%. That's why when I saw that, but I'm also a plate splinter because
You're
like
number two.
so I think I'm a number two. I asked Dave and Shan. They think they emailed me back. They said I'm either a four or two. They don't know. But then
I feel like that double activated play makes it the four really high in the number twos.
yeah, but then apparently I was like interviewing some other people. They're like, a lot of people are saying that when Dave talks to them and they reference me because like I do so many interviews, right? They're saying Kendrick is the number four guy, right? So I'm like, why are they calling me the number four guy when I emailed them, they said I'm a 4 or a 2. So I'm
It's
like,
probably because you're both. It's probably because it's so hard to tell, and like your four is so freaking high. Like you're
it
probably
is.
still number two though. Like you sound like a number two.
Yeah, because when they thought, remember when our description was like number twos have a scam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't
Yep.
think of it I don't think of it as a scam. I think of it as a gimmick. You have a gimmick. Like I don't know. Like
What's your thing?
so
I don't know. I don't know
like
what that means actually. Like
what's
what's my scam? What's your scam? I don't know. Maybe we should try to find that out.
well, because they use NI because it's NI. That's why they call it the scam. But I would
Mm.
say it's a gimmick. You have a gimmick, Um and like
What's
and
your gimmick?
well the gimmick is like well my gimmick from this channel, I'm the personality trainer. So I'm
Oh, it's
the
like a theme.
kind of, but it's also business oriented. There's like a business aspect to it. Like that's why it's a gimmick. Like um I'll use my
Mm.
travel stuff as an example. So I used to run travel meetups. Um and I have a travel blog and a travel YouTube channel. So I don't know if you've seen them, but I have
I've
both.
looked at them a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. My travel blog is more honed in my my YouTube channel, but that used to be my thing before I did the personality stuff.
Hmm.
And so my gimmick was, or my scam you could say, was I'm trying to sell online courses for travel. I'm trying to sell
Okay.
online courses and also a membership website. So that was kind of my scam. It's not a scam, it's a
What you're
business.
trying to do with this thing. Okay.
So I'm doing all this other stuff, but that's not the end goal. Like I
Right.
actually don't think the other stuff is. I mean, it is, but it's not. But like the end goal is the business, right? Except for my
Right.
blog. My blog is my sleep outlet, my sleep last outlet,
Okay.
because I'm writing, right? My experience.
Yeah.
And so but anyways, so before I would run a meetup, like I use meetup.com, and
I
because
remember
I'm
that.
like lead NT, I'm like good at like figuring things out. So I'm like, okay, I need to find a free meeting room. So I found a bank that like lets you use the rooms for free, like the meeting
Hmm.
rooms. So I get people there, and like I'll do like weekly travel based meetups, and the people just think it's like, oh, this is a fun community thing, which it is. And I'm very high friends, so I'm very community oriented as well. So also do it for that aspect of it. But the
Yeah.
other aspect of doing it is for business. So
Of course. Yeah.
every 2 months I would do like a sales pitch on something I'm selling, right?
Yeah. It's
Uh,
both. Like, yeah.
right. But like so because I do have that aspect of it, it's like there is like Dave likes to call it
Yeah,
the
but you're
scam.
not doing it just for the community, like just, right? Because a four would do that, right? They'd be like,
No,
nah, we're just getting
a
together and
100%. It is not just for the community. It's
right?
it's it's also with the community, but it's not just for the community, right? Like,
Yeah,
like for example, I have this YouTube channel. Well, I do the coaching stuff too. Like I do paid
yes.
coaching,
I've
right?
actually thought about getting your coaching. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So it's like I have both, and they're both important to me, but it's not just one. They're not like, oh, I'm just here to like talk to people and stuff. I'm like, hell no. If
Meet both your needs. Meet both your needs.
I
You're two
have
and a
I
four.
have both their as a number two, which you could probably relate. Both
Mhm.
those needs exist at the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and then like you said you're a plate spinner, right? Um,
Yeah.
so like I can relate to that as well, because like just this year alone, just to say how bad it is. Um, I am running. So I work in fitness in the
Mhm.
evenings, and then before this, I like between February to November, I had a day job as a recruiter for a
Mhm.
travel nurse company. Okay, and then on top of that, I have a travel blog that I was also writing, and then a
Mhm.
travel YouTube channel, and I have personality trainer, right?
You've got it all.
Yeah, exactly. So I have like five things going on at once. And then I'm also selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, you know.
Yep.
And then like a lot of my friends go up to me and say, Kendra, can you sell this for me? You can get a cut. I'm like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah,
like,
I've had that same conversation with like everybody in my life. They're like, "Will you sell this for me?" And I'm like, I had to eventually start saying no. I'm transitioning away towards like a number three specialist area, and it's
yeah.
very hard to say no because you're like, "Of course I can do that. I can do that too. I can do that too. I can do that too."
Well, I realized after a while, I was like, this is not worth my time to be selling your stuff. I don't get enough. I'm only getting 40% of the cut. You have to give me a bigger cut. That's kind of, because I'm doing all the work here. You're just sitting on your ass.
Yep.
But anyway, so I was thinking about it. I'm like, everything I think about is like business, but I also like community. So it's like both, right? So it's like,
I really think you're a number two with just like really high number four right underneath it because of the double activated play.
yeah, I'm probably have to send him a video, like another video, like a typing video
Yeah.
for this. Just
I
to
mean, I'm not super good at typing yet, so I could be wrong, but I feel the
yeah.
same way, and that's how I feel about myself as well.
Right, right. So what's your journey like trying to go to the specialization? Because like that's because like those guys are doing it right, you know. Like
Yes, they
one thing
sure
that
are niching. Niching, I used to think niching was like completely like I was so mad at the idea of having to niche. It made me angry. I was like, what do you mean I have to niche? Fuck you. Like, whatever business
right,
person online telling me to niche, like, I'm going to do what I need to do because I have this need, this number two need to do a lot of stuff. But then you've got that demon need of needing to specialize. And I really, really do. And I always wanted to be, I think this is also mixed with my TI, like be an artist. I want to be an artist. I put so much work into being an artist. I like doing art. I still want my art business. That's my number two scam at the end of it is like, I want to be running a business. I want to figure out how to like be an artist with really bad ADHD and still figure out how to make a fucking living and then maybe teach other people how to do that too. So it doesn't take them as long because
right.
I'm 34. And that makes me mad that I'm 34 and I haven't like figured out how to make my income yet because I'm so scattered. And I'm like, fuck that. I got a coach, I got a studio, and I'm like, I'm going number three now. Like, let's go. But the guilt just pulls me away because it makes you more DE like to be a number two. So it just pulls me away being like, no, I shouldn't be investing all of like this portion of our extra income into me and my one specializing thing. No, I shouldn't be like putting part of every single of my day towards my thing and also being demon sleep. It's just like number two is like also kind of like demon sleep on top of demon sleep. So it's like you shouldn't be spending time on your own thing. And I feel just guilty because of being this type. I just feel guilt like constantly. But when I'm doing it, but I know that that guilt is like a sign that I'm doing the number three thing. It's like the price, like the trade-off is like you're going to feel guilty, but that's how you know you're doing it.
Do you know the author Chris Gillibo, the guy who wrote the $100 Startup? You know, the Art of Nonconformity.
I know that.
Yeah, the Happiness of Pursuit. Like those books. Have you read any of those books? You know,
I don't think I've actually read any of them.
but you're aware. Yeah, you've seen them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the hundred
I'm
dollars.
writing his name down. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I went to one of his events, so I if I email him, he'll like give me some advice and stuff. He's really nice.
Oh,
And
cool. Okay.
he's actually the guy that told me to read that book that you told me about, like Refuse to
The
Choose.
refuse to choose.
Yeah, he's the one who
Yeah.
told me to read that book because I was telling him my problem. That same problem that you just mentioned is my problem. Like I refuse to narrow it down. I refuse to specialize. I want to have a broader thing. And then I think he's also at number two because he said refuse to narrow down. That's what he said. Refuse to niche. That's what he said. He's very adamant at refusing to niche. He said you can succeed by refusing to niche.
Beautiful. They're beautiful when they niche those number threes. You're like, you're doing it right.
But he's also niching. So I don't know. Because he's an
Okay.
author. He's an author. So technically he did specialize in
Yeah,
writing.
he got into a hole. He got into that one slot, right?
Right.
Good job.
But before that, he was doing a bunch of scams, you could say. Like he was selling on eBay. He was writing books. He had a membership website also. I think everyone goes through a membership website phase. And then he had you know, he was teaching classes, like classroom style
Yes.
classes. So he was doing a bunch of different stuff before he finally, like right now, he ended up in writing books and podcasts. But in his podcast, it's just him talking by himself.
Okay.
It's like a 5 minute
That
podcast
sounds so lonely, but yeah, okay.
because he wants to do daily podcasts, you know. And
Oh, okay. And
it's
you
on
can't get
business.
guests for every single day.
Yeah, and it's a business podcast. It's like a 5 minute podcast every day on business, on people that have succeeded in business and what they did, right?
Man,
So
that's so sad though. Like if you're a number two, just shoot like a bunch of podcasts and then release something, a piece of it every day so that you're not like doing lonely podcasts by yourself.
I think he likes it that way. I mean, he has lots of friends, even though he's introverted. So I don't know. Like
Okay. Never mind. Anyways.
he's really friendly as an ISTP. Like so,
Oh,
like he literally like I think he literally like replies to everyone's email. Like if you email him, he'll reply to you, and then
that is really sweet, but it probably takes a bunch of his time.
it's meaningful to him, which is it's good for ISTPs to do that, right? So that's why he has a huge community. So it's good.
Cool. Okay.
And anyways, regardless, with that being said, I get where you're coming from when you said that you invested in a art coach, a studio and stuff. Because I was thinking about that for myself. I was like, those number threes are doing it right in a sense where their work speaks for itself. So you don't have to do any sales or marketing if your work is really good, right? And like, a lot of people have mentioned that they like my explainer videos. So I really want to focus my attention on just creating explainer videos in the future. But like, I need like the stuff that you mentioned. Like, I need a studio so I can create those explainer videos and like time up away from people so I can focus on creating this content. So I've had those same thought process that you've had.
Yes, giving yourself like what the specializers give themselves.
100%. Like just
Yeah.
by myself, away from the tribe, focus on the craft, right?
Yes.
And like really
Literally cannot work unless I've tried so many different ways to do this in our house. I can't work unless I leave the building and I'm alone.
You're doing the, what do you call it? The art thing, and you want to make a business out of it? Like, what is going to be your platform where you showcase your art?
I've got an Instagram and I also have a YouTube. And then I'll have like a website where you can like buy paintings from. I've done this before in lots of different ways, but I've never stuck with it.
Oh, I see. I see. So like Etsy or something, kind of like that.
I've done Etsy before, but I'll just do like my own standalone website and then I'll use social media to like funnel people in. Yeah. And then
Oh,
I'll have an email list. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started like this channel, originally it was just for, I don't know if you know, but the original name of the channel is ENFP male. I don't know if you know that.
I know. Yeah.
And then I changed it to personality trainer because like,
I have double masculine consume. I've watched so many of your videos.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Only because before I was like, that was the original plan, but then now I'm like, but because like I remember I got like tribe hate for promoting my videos on the Facebook groups and stuff. And then
Oh,
and then like,
it's nice. It's nice that you let us know you have a video. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'll just click right on it.
yeah, because like I think it was Versavia that got mad at me, the ESFP play last person. Like I interviewed her
Oh, I
recently.
watched that. Yeah, she was like, "What are you doing in our community?" I'm like,
Exactly.
"Fine."
That's so funny. But I'm double-sided, right? So when the
Not a
tribe
big deal.
happened, I'm like, I know what these people want. They just want attention. I'll start interviewing them and then they'll leave me alone. And that's
That's
that's kind of
adorable.
that's kind of what I did, right? And then now I'm the interviewer guy. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like I always think back to it, right? It's like, I started getting like emails and people messaging me like, can you interview me next? I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh.
I'm high friends. I am high friends, right? So I'm like, sure, okay, sounds good to me. And I'm like,
Okay,
okay,
I was excited to come on and talk with you. So yeah, that's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. And then now it's like personality trainer because I'm like a personal trainer in my day job. So I'm like, okay,
Right? So
it's,
smart.
yeah, yeah, it's clever, clever play on words, I think, and it's kind of catchy. So I'm like, uh,
Yeah, help me like I'm gonna hire you for a session and help me figure out how to do like an INTP beginner women's workout session so that I can get some sleep every day.
sure,
Like, what do
sure,
I do? My kettlebell, let's go.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, too bad you're not here. I can show you in person, but uh, yeah, but because I use like different specific methodology for training, right? But anyways, I digress. So like yeah, so I lost my train of thought now after this like little tangent we had, but
Train of thought. Yeah, okay.
yeah. But anyways, do you have any last minute thing that you want to discuss before we wrap up this discussion?
Um, there were things I wanted to talk with you about that I wrote down. Oh yeah, I thought it was really neat because they're both human SF. I wanted to talk to you about using Chat GPT to like work on your style. It's so fun because that's what I did. Like I went into Chat GPT and I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I have demon SF. Like I want to have this kind of style. Let's see if I can give it like a name. So I went in and I was like, what kind of style is this where you put in like a single earring like people from Star Trek, those people who have like one earring, the Bajorans, and like put in like an art style so that I look like a really cool artist, but I'm really itchy if I wear tight clothes. So make sure I have like loose fitting shirts or whatever and utilitarian pants and like put in all these different items and it gives you like lots of different potential names for what your style is. And it came up with like the futurist artisan. And now I have like a name for my style that I can kind of like NE put all of these things and buy my clothes underneath this umbrella and have my one little like TISI, this is what I do. I'm an artist. Look at my artsy, tiny asymmetrical earring kind of thing.
Right.
And just building your like identity into like your SF using ChatGPT was really fun. And I just wanted to know about your SF journey, I guess, because that's what I did recently with mine.
Oh my God, it's gonna take too long, I think, if I tell you. It's way too long. I've really put a lot of work into it. I'm gonna make a separate video in it actually at the end of the year.
Okay. I'll
Because
look forward to watching it.
it's way too long. I can't tell you in like a few minutes. And like there's a guy
Or
coming
how about like what's just going on with you recently, like in like a minute or something?
in
I know
what
it's a demon, so maybe you're like, I don't want to.
for what SF?
Yeah.
No, I have no problem working with my SF, but like
Okay.
okay, I'll just tell you something quick recently. So I've been trying to upgrade my style,
Mhm.
right? Just like I'm 39, so I'm almost 40. So I'm like, okay, I need to upgrade my style because I feel like I'm still dressing like in my late 20s. So I'm like, gotta change it up a little bit. So I was talking to my friend. I have a friend, he's like I think he's a number one. Um,
Mhm.
because he's like hyper to business, but also like very image oriented. Like he's very controlled the way he behaves, you know.
Okay.
And like
Brand. Like he's a branded dude.
yeah, and he'll kick out friends if they get in the way of his business. He'll kick out people. Like he'll really kick. He has no friends from like when he was a kid. Everyone's been kicked out. He only makes friends with people that are into business,
I get it.
and only if you're working hard at your business. He has like I can see he has certain criteria like for friendship. Like he um and he has no problem kicking you out. Even if you've been friends with him for 5 years, the moment he sees you slipping, he'll kick you out. You're out. He'll just cut you
Hey,
off.
that's his standards.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. He had like this IP friend that he just like cut off just like abruptly because he became a loser, so he kicked him out. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's like I think he's an INTJ, like play last, kind of like Steve Jobs ish. Like kind of like that.
Okay.
But like Blast, lead Blast, he's strive above self, so he still likes to help people. But like only if
Only
you
to a degree.
only if he knows you're hardworking and if you're
Mhm.
serious. So if he
Right.
if you don't fit those criteria, he's not gonna help you.
He doesn't want to waste his time because he's a one and his time is precious. Yeah.
Right. But he also sees like if you're working hard, it's good for him because it means you're willing to do the work. And he's for him, he has a scam going on. He wants to be so he owns like 4 companies or something. Like
Wow.
yeah, number ones are amazing. He was already making six figures
Bucks.
in his like late 20s. He was already making six figures from teaching people how to dance on YouTube, right? And then like
Okay.
and then later on he started like a men's like grooming company. Like he does like men's like shaving, face cream, all that stuff.
Beard oil. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff, like hair for your hair. And then later on he started selling like men's apparel, so men's clothes too. So he owns like
Okay.
there's 3 companies, they're all like men related, like style, image, and stuff. So lately I've been asking him for tips, so he's kind of giving me like sending me like images of like different haircut I can like switch to and stuff. And I feel really
Mhm.
self-conscious about it because I'm SF sleep last, you know.
Sure.
Um, ironically, it's not like the FI I'm like worried about. It's like, because sleep last is SIFI for me, right? So it's not like the FI. I have no problem talking about my feelings and like processing them. It's the S part that is bad. It's like the how to do the stuff itself, you know?
Okay.
Because like I was talking to like ESTJs and ISTJs, when they're having emotional issues, they'll use the S to solve the F, right? Well, for people with like who are like INFPs and ENFPs, we'll just go straight to the F. We won't do the stupid S stuff first, right? You know,
So it's like the routine of like the maintenance of that hairstyle.
yeah, like the routine, how to do it. Uh,
Yeah. How do I make sure that I can like recreate this every day the same way? That kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
that's like one of my insecurities. Like I'll go to a stylist, they'll do it for me, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this again. Like
Right. Okay. Well, like as a double observer, I'm like, I get wash and wear hairstyles for myself. So it's like just one extra little layer in there. So like one is longer, one is shorter. It adds a little bit of body and
yeah.
I can wash it and it turns out the same every time. So if you can get like a wash and wear hairstyle, that's great. But I don't know how easy that is for short men's hairstyles.
No, I was talking to him, and because I used historically I used like when I was younger I used to have a full hawk, right? And then like
Cool. That's
yeah, I don't
cool.
yeah, I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore. But I used to do it, and then
It's cute on kids.
yeah, it is, yeah. And then like I used to, and then I typically have spiky hair, but like but that was like a long time ago. I worked with like an image consultant, so back then spiky hair was good for me. But then now I'm older. He's
Right.
like, my friend said, you should definitely have like a thicker hair and like make it higher, and then use like
Okay.
he said like do a fade or like another kind of hairstyle, but
Mhm.
like along those lines. But I have to grow my hair longer. That's what he said. And then like the side has to be like really short and stuff. And like he's kind of describing it to me. So I'm just
It
like,
sounds
okay,
nice.
yeah, I'm just taking everything in right now, and I'm like, okay, I know this is an insecurity point, so this is the area I need to walk towards because this is the area that
Yeah.
yeah that like I was surprised how I was like, oh my god, with the SF sleep, a lot of stuff I'm not insecure about. It's actually this SF, the actual SF flavor of it that I'm insecure about, you know. So
Oh, I think it's really fun. I think SF is fun, but it's in my hobby slot, so it's I'm like, oh, I have like a hopeful view of it, but that's FE again. Anyway.
yeah, well, I
I
mean,
feel like it really works when you put it in like an any umbrella. Like, do you have like a kind of like style or like FI way that you want to feel, you know? I know you're running out of time, sorry, but like you know, like do I want to be like a suave kind of guy or do I want to be like a badass kind of guy? And then you can find the hairstyles that like meet those two or three different areas that you like.
yeah, for hairstyle, I want to look chaotic because I'm an EP. I have to stick with my brand, so it has to
Ooh,
be
longer hair will definitely help with that.
yeah, it has to be like spiky but messy ish kind of deal. Like it has to be like it has to look like a mess, but it like but organized mess, like an organized mess.
I
Um,
love that because then the like short faded sides, you can put like a tiny little bit of gel on them and make that kind of like spiky hard look, but then it'll be like messy and wavy
yeah,
on the top. That sounds so cool.
yeah. So that's kind of like what I was after. And then
Sweet.
for clothes, I just want to tap into my double masculine SF sleep. So it's like I need to look tough. I need to look tough,
Sweet.
like more masculine and but still stylish. So that's like and
It sounds like,
a little bit of NT. So I need to have a cardigan because like I was
oh,
talking
cool.
I was talking to someone about it before, and they're like, oh, all the NT people wear cardigans. I'm like, yeah, I need to have that because like it's I need to still represent like it's like
That would
basically
look
I want my style to represent like
cool.
all my parts, which is like I'm an NT nerd, but I'm double masculine SF inside. So I want I want to like to merge both of them. Plus I'm an EP, so I want to really represent like my character. But anyways, I
Sounds
actually
like you're in a good direction.
yeah. So Abby, I'm actually selling something to someone on Facebook Marketplace. They're gonna come here soon, so I gotta end this interview.
Okay.
But thanks for
It
coming on
was
and
really fun.
sharing more about yourself, and we'll stay in touch. Okay,
Okay.
take
Bye.
care.
It was great to see you.
You too. Bye bye.